Hello, welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a weekly romance reading. As always, this is a general collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I just started pulling a reading with a different deck, and it was like really not resonating. I feel like we have the new moon energy tonight, so I just felt like the witches was calling to me. So we're going to try this deck and see how this reading goes. There we go. The other one didn't want to talk very much. The star. So the star is a message of healing. It's a message of like a wish coming in that's been kind of a long time coming. I like that energy. It's interesting that that's in the middle there. So the Two of Swords is a place where you're kind of at a stalemate, where you're trying to think through something, and kind of get logical on it, right? So there's somewhere like maybe in a romantic situation where you're really trying to figure things out with your mind. And I feel like surrounded by the King of Cups, who's like the most kind of emotional king who sort of flows with the emotions, right? And then the Six of Wands, which is like this really fiery card of victory. I feel like it's saying to kind of follow your heart and trust your gut. So it's like an interesting energy here. It could be speaking to like next steps in a relationship. So for example, let's say that you're like wanting to take a next step or wondering if that's the appropriate time. Instead of thinking about it and like kind of, it's like you're locking yourself up instead of letting it flow. I feel like that's the best way. I was going to say it feels like anxiety, but even anxiety flows. I feel like this is really like this kind of deadlock, stalemate energy. Like nothing can flow through this energy. It's really interesting. But like the King of Cups and the Six of Wands, to me, both feel like cards of flow. The King of Cups, I mean, that's literally... he's the king of the emotions, right? He's the sign of water. And then the Six of Wands, I don't know. I just feel like that fire element flows too. He's like in victory mode. So he's going with the flow of this victory parade, right? In this card, he, you know, is coming back a hero and the town's like throwing a parade for him. The Queen of Cups. So we have like a pair here. There could be a connection coming in or deepening. The Queen of Cups is the queen of water, the queen of the emotions. Both of these are Cancer, and we are in Cancer right now, so I find that interesting. The Magician, he is the ruler of like all four elements, right? And he is able to take them and sort of bend them to his will. So I feel like it's a place where, yeah, I mean, this energy just feels really clear to me. If you're in this collective, you're kind of stuck in this mental place where you're really just agonizing over some sort of decision or choice that you feel like you have to make, and you're just not letting the energy flow. And I feel like what these cards are saying is like, let it flow. You're in a position of power here. These cards are like very positive cards. The Star and the Magician here, I feel like is a really good energy. It's like an energy of kind of using your willpower and your ability to manifest in order to make your dreams come true. And the Star is saying like this wish or this dream come true, it's on its way. And I'm even drawn in the card, like she has this water flowing around her, right? So she's flowing. He's kind of got like his cape billowing in the wind. So he's flowing with it. Like everyone who's winning in here is flowing. I just am feeling all of these energies as like a river sort of washing over like this Two of Swords. So, yeah, that feels really clear. I feel like it's going to be really obvious to you if you're in this collective. That message will either resonate or not. What advice do you have here for these folks other than to flow, which feels very obvious from the other side? We have the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. Yeah, so, oh, I didn't even realize we had another one come out. The Nine of Cups. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles is giving me that feeling of like that person who's clinging too hard. It feels like if you're in this collective, you may be afraid of change. So like fearing that if something new happens, or, you know, if you relax from this Two of Swords energy and let the flow come through, that it's going to like take away your pentacles, right? That like something's going to get taken away or something bad will happen. But I feel like the universe is inviting you to go on this adventure. The Page of Wands, I love the Page of Wands in this deck. I don't know if you can see his face very well. He just has, it looks like he's like hollering at somebody. I don't know. He's just funny. But he is like basically like a minor arcana Fool type energy in a lot of ways, where he's kind of spontaneous. He goes with the flow. He's like open to the adventure. He doesn't know what's coming down the path, but he's just like kind of happily going down the path and just being present with that adventure. The energy feels really nice to me. And then the Nine of Cups is considered one of the wish cards in the tarot. The other one being the Star card, right? So we have both of the wish cards. That feels really auspicious to me. I feel like if you're in this collective, the universe is saying like flow, 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 flow. I'm hearing it chanted like you're at like a sports game or something, right? And the audience is like chanting something. The universe is just chanting flow, flow, flow. Like go with the flow. This is an interesting energy. I'm like, literally, I'm visually seeing this energy as like a river that's like parting around this Two of Swords, and it just wants to like flood over and like flow over it. I feel like it's just about making the choice to let it in. What's coming to me is like in relationships, right? Sometimes you don't know what's going to happen until you take the next step, right? And see what that is. And if you're too scared to take the next step and you're kind of closing yourself off to that, you're not able to flow. So maybe it just keeps coming to me with communication. So maybe you're communicating about asking someone out for the first time or going deeper into a relationship, right? Like maybe you guys want to move in together or officially, you know, be exclusive with each other or something like that. Having those conversations can sometimes be a little intense, right? If you don't know how the other person might react or you're not like certain about what they might say. But avoiding that conversation just keeps you in like that stuck energy. And if you just have the conversation, then the energy will flow and you'll either know, okay, I'm going deeper with this person, or this person's not the right one for me, right? Which can sometimes, you know, be heartbreaking if it's a relationship that you don't want to end. But I feel like at least you know, and it kind of frees you up. So, and I'm not seeing that something bad's going to happen. I'm just using that as an example. Actually, I feel like if you're in this collective, there's some really good stuff waiting for you. Like there's really good cards here. The Ten of Swords. Yeah, I feel like that's the energy I was just speaking to, is like, it's kind of an ending to this, right? An ending to this stage, an ending to this period. And the King of Swords, he's that clarity. He is very brave about being forthcoming and straightforward. That's the thing that's like the most important to him, right? Is that clarity and truth. So whether that causes the relationship to go deeper or causes the relationship to end, like the King of Swords would jump right in and he would want to get clear on that. I feel like with the Star and the Nine of Cups and the Six of Wands and the Magician and the King and Queen of Cups being like a divine pair, this is just a sweet energy. The Tower and the Queen of Wands. It's interesting. It just feels like letting the change flow, letting the change happen. And like, please always, you know, I'm just a random person online doing a tarot reading, right? Like make your own decisions, use your own judgment, right? I'm not telling anybody what to do. It does, if you're in this collective and this energy resonates, it just feels like getting clear on whatever this Two of Swords place is that you're kind of putting up this resistance. It will bring in change. And again, it could be change in a direction that maybe you don't want to go, right? Kind of in the moment, but from a higher perspective, maybe, for example, you're with someone and you guys break up, but the next person you date is like the love of your life and you're married for the next 60 years or whatever, right? I'm drawn to the Tower and the Queen of Wands. She looks so satisfied in this deck. She just has such a vibe of like lounging back, and she's just like letting all of her good come to her. So I feel like the Tower is not, I don't know, you guys have heard me say this before. Some people think the Tower is like this doom and gloom card. I really feel like it just is speaking about change and kind of like a sudden change, right? So this could be something that changes the trajectory of your relationship. For example, moving in together or going deeper into commitment, right? Like that's a pretty big deal. But I feel like the thing that's radiating off of her to me is her satisfaction and like relaxation and confidence. That's really beautiful. I really like this energy. It's kind of about taking that leap of faith, right? Like kind of diving into the flow and choosing to be open to it and then letting what happens happen. But I really feel like, I don't know, the Star and that Nine of Cups and the Magician, I feel like if you're in this collective, it's likely that whatever this thing is that you're concerned about is going to end up positively for you. This reading has like a very positive vibe for me. You guys want to say anything? I took the Moonology cards out because we have that new moon tonight. And they were actually in the right box this time. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. No way. This is the new moon in Cancer. Right? Yeah. Today, literally today when I'm pulling this is new moon in Cancer. That's so sweet. You and your loved ones are safe. I feel like that's speaking to what I was just saying. I feel like the energy here is auspicious. I think sometimes my spiritual teachers talk about how our brains are safety machines, right? So a lot of times our ego or our brains will cling to like what's familiar or what's the same, right? And we'll resist that change because we're like, oh no, change is scary. But these cards, the energy of these cards is showing me that like, if you just release that fear and allow the change to flow through you, it's really positive. And I feel like it leads to you feeling like very relaxed and satisfied and basically like having wish come true. It's a really nice energy. We don't have to be afraid of change. We've got prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. I like that. Yeah, I feel like that's speaking to just the positive energy that I was getting here. I'm going to pull a couple twin flame cards if they will speak to us, and then we'll be done here. I'm curious, like, actually, I never do this, but I feel like I want to pull on a specific question. My intuition is like poking at me a little bit. So I'm curious, like, what specifically can this collective do in order to help relax into this flow energy? What advice do you have specifically around relaxing into the flow, God? It might want me to use the other deck. Yeah. Sorry, it's telling me to use this one. I keep seeing a vision of her like doing a trust fall backwards into the water. And I also keep seeing a vision of like hands releasing. So I get it. There's like a release. And there's that trust. Like I had said before, like a leap of faith, that trust fall is kind of similar. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, you're not really in control of this. At the end of the day, you're in control of the choices that you make and, you know, the things that you've put out there to manifest, but you surrender those to the universe, right? And they kind of come back to you in God's way rather than necessarily the way that you might want them to go. Is that all you wanted to say? I think it's just telling you to surrender control. We'll try one more time. Felt like there was maybe one more. Yeah, two more. Oh, how beautiful is this? Yeah, I feel like the universe is saying, surrender control. I've got you. That there is this manifestation, this gift, right? This is your wish. I feel like sometimes I'm just only drawn to that pentacle in their hand. I feel like it's this beautiful offering that he's holding. Like, you release control. You're not in control of how the universe is bringing this to you, but it's on its way. The universe is offering it to you. And I feel like the Empress is you, just like in this receiving mode. She's reminding me of the vibe of that Queen of Wands. Look at them. They're like both just all golden colored and like lounging back in their thrones. They're so beautiful. Just really receiving that gift from the universe. That's lovely. I love this energy. This is beautiful. I feel like if you are in this collective, maybe the whole purpose of this reading for you is just reassurance that it's safe, that you're safe, and that it's safe to go with this change. 6/6 Karmic Purge Mirror Reflections. So what that's making me think of is the mirror exercise that I do as part of my spiritual work. You can look that up online. There's information about it for free from my spiritual teachers, and the link is in my, what's it called? Caption. The link is in my caption. But if you're having feelings about this, you don't have to just take a cold plunge and do it from a place of like being stressed out or anxiety. You can do it from a place of peace and like loving yourself, right? So kind of giving yourself love in those places where you're nervous, right? About maybe what might happen, what might unfold if this change comes in. 3/3, increase your frequency, higher conscious awareness. I feel like it's that. It's getting in touch with your higher self through your feelings so that you can kind of release, right? Or like take that plunge, take that next step from a place of peace instead of a place of feeling like really closed off and upset. This is really beautiful. So yeah, I feel like that's the advice here is you're not in control of how your manifestations unfold, right? You're not in control of like what the universe has in store for you, and that it's safe to just accept that. You're just not, right? But you are in control of yourself and loving yourself and the choice to do that, right? The choice to heal and to kind of surrender control and get clarity on this situation from a place of peace. And I feel like that's what this is encouraging you to do. And again, like I said, however this unfolds in your situation, I do feel like there are huge gifts here, and there's like a wish or a big gift coming in on its way to you from the universe. So this is really lovely, and I think that feels complete. So I hope that this was helpful, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.